Hello and good morning from the Indoor Track and Field Center at Gately Park. President Lavelle, Vice President King, and distinguished members of the board, park patrons, and fellow Chicagoans, I want to thank you again for this time and this opportunity. It is an honor to present the Chicago Park District's 2021 budget, this being the 10th fiscal year I have been afforded the privilege. The $481.8 million budget takes into close consideration the Park District's enduring commitment to serve all residents by maintaining and investing in all parks in every Chicago neighborhood. That long-term commitment and investment could not be more evident than this facility where I stand today. Gately was a dream and a vision of so many at the Park District and so many more in the community, and I'm proud to have helped make this a reality and deliver today's budget from the far south side. As you know, our passion for providing the best parks, the best facilities, and the best programs for all of Chicago is not going to waver. However, as this coming year's budget demonstrates, we must work under some daunting circumstances forced upon us by a global pandemic. As we all well know, the Chicago Park District was not spared the same pain shared by millions of Americans from all walks of life. In prior years, the annual budget would highlight program expansion, it would detail plans for new and renovated facilities, and I'd be touting the overall growth of our opportunities. The glaring difference in 2021 over previous years are the extreme mitigation efforts that we will implement to remain on sound financial footing. In 2020, the Chicago Park District faced incredible and what at times felt like insurmountable odds. We suffered a $100 million loss in revenue in 2020 that came from a severe reduction in program fees and loss of income from essentially all our special events. Yet in spite of the obstacles we faced and will face, this upcoming year's budget is balanced and it continues to honor our commitment to put children first, offer residents the best deal in town, build parks and facilities to last, and make the extra effort for all Chicagoans. Through this most challenging of times, we found ways to adjust programs to fit community needs, such as offering much-needed online programming for kids and families this summer. And that is something we have continued into the fall, and we're going to continue as long as the need exists. Despite the pandemic, the Park District also managed to keep necessary ongoing capital projects on track. That goes for the absolutely necessary and crucial work being done to shore up major portions of the lakefront, along with the renovation and completion of major projects like the stunning new beach house at South Shore Cultural Center, the state-of-the-art field house at Adams Park on the near west side, and of course, this one-of-a-kind facility at Gately Park. And that's just to name a few. So how have we managed to not only stay afloat, but charge ahead in the face of such a crisis? It's our people. It's always our people. Now today, I'm going to talk to you about estimates and figures and numbers, but I must be clear that what makes us go at the Park District is the extraordinary women and men that comprise our staff. Through it all, I am most proud of how our Park District stance answered the call to serve their neighbors, those in need, and all of their fellow citizens as part of an essential workforce. And I want to thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for everything you've gone through this year. Now, I offer you a view into our plans for the revenue first in 2020. This budget is an estimated $5.8 million decrease from the adopted budget for fiscal year 2020. It's about a 1.2% reduction. We anticipate an $8.8 million decrease in revenue from park fees because, as you can imagine, the pandemic has severely affected our programs, our permit, and our rental revenue. On the program side, we will continue to offer programs during the winter session. We hope to grow in the spring, and ultimately, we hope to showcase the summer again with probably about 75% of our normal capacities. The Park District will also see a decrease of $1.6 million in revenue from managed assets, particularly attributable to losses in our harbor and our parking fees. As always, property taxes and personal property replacement tax will continue to make up the majority of the Park District revenues. And I want everyone to keep in mind, personal property replacement tax is the taxes paid by corporations, trusts, and public utilities, and that's going to be down about $1 million. But there is good news. It's good news for Chicago property owners. The Park District is not going to implement a property tax increase this year. Now, there will be an increase in property tax revenue of approximately $3.9 million, but that will increase from expiring TIFs as well as new property that comes on the books in the city of Chicago. But again, no property tax for the homeowner, no property tax increase. And as I've said in the past, I want to remind people that we've only increased our levy amount by 9% over the past 14 years. And through downturns and recessions and now this pandemic, our dedicated financial staff have been able to balance the budget with little or no increase. And they've done this for years and years. And I want to take a moment to commend our CFO, Steve Lux, and our Director of Budget Management, Jeff Shellhorn, and really the entire staff, who I consider to be the best financial team in government. They've been persistent, and their commitment to serve in the interest of all Chicago residents has been nothing short of unbelievable. Turning from the revenue side to the expense side, the Park District must enact some critical cost-saving measures to account for the loss of revenue. The 2021 budget calls for a decrease of $8.7 million in salary and wages. We're going to eliminate more than 90 vacant full-time equivalent roles in 2021. We will observe 3 shutdown days and also maintain a hiring freeze through June, only hiring critical employees. Yet despite all these actions, we're not going to have any layoffs. Again, no layoffs at the Chicago Park District. We will reduce our expenses in contractual services, materials, and supplies by more than $5 million, and all Park District departments are doing their part, whether they're reducing non-personnel budgets by as much as 50% or they're making drastic cuts. Cuts range from $600,000 in transportation to $1.3 million in general contractor reduction. We're going to reduce $1 million in landscape services and $900,000 in materials and supplies. The budget plan also calls for a $1.7 million decrease in benefits and expenses due to lower rates and a change in stop-loss insurance, which is an increase in employee contributions. Now, the Park District forecasts a $1.7 million increase in expenses associated with managed assets such as Gately, Adams, and Maggie Daley Park. Now, I want to remind everyone we still have a pension crisis. We will increase our pension expenses by $9.4 million as part of our planned multi-year ramp-up of payments. This is the second year that we've ramped up these pension payments to stay in sync with the actuarial's recommended levels. This increase, which brings the expense up to $43 million, represents a 9% increase in our budget. Let's face it, pandemic or not, we are in this pension predicament. And let me be clear on behalf of myself, Chicago residents, I cannot express enough appreciation, again, to our Park District staff who've rolled up their sleeves and they're doing what they can with our budget situation. And as we look at this national landscape, park systems everywhere have been forced to make difficult financial decisions going into the coming year. Program cuts, closings, layoffs. My park colleagues across the country are feeling real pain. And this pandemic has revealed much about us in the areas of deficiency. And this budget has forced a lot of close examinations of how we do our business and how we run our daily lives. But I truly believe this crisis has brought an opportunity and a challenge to ourselves that when we're done, we're going to better serve the community. And I believe we're in that moment of time right now. You got to remember, in our nation's history, parks have always played a pivotal role through national crises, depression, and times of war. Parks have been essential for the health and well-being of our society. At the Park District, the safety and wellness of park visitors and park staff has driven our decision-making through the pandemic. We've had to rethink our approach to all aspects of operations. As I have stated emphatically in the past, programming truly represents who we are at the Chicago Park District. Programs are critical, and I would say programs are essential services for Chicago families. Now, in a traditional year, a traditional summer, we would serve 50,000 children. Sadly, that was a tradition we missed this past season. But as I mentioned moments ago, our staff has pivoted, they've adapted, and they found ways to reach and serve those families in need. In many cases, it has meant taking engagement online through a variety of virtual programs. And it's that type of thinking and that improvisation, they don't stop. We will continue to think creatively with the sole purpose of meeting the needs of all Chicago. Now, we've all been around, so hopefully you've all heard us say in our mantra, we will not turn any child away for an inability to pay. And that philosophy means more now probably than ever. The pandemic has presented a different set of obstacles in addition to financial. Yet it has exacerbated the daily economic challenges that many families face. Our pledge to live up to that mantra and welcome children and families who seek help matters exponentially more now in this sober time. The Chicago Park District is a nationally distinguished gold medal winning organization. It's an agency that is looked upon by our colleagues as the model of stability, service, and execution. We are perennially certified and recertified as the very best in class. Yet this crisis has tested us and it's strained us as a park system. But I'm proud to say that our resilience and our gold medal attitude has not faltered. Now, it was written that adversity does not build character, it reveals it. As we approach the year end and seemingly more closures, I believe this budget plan and our staff's commitment to overcome adversity, and I truly feel the Park District's resolve and perseverance has shown throughout this crisis, and that should give us all some hope. So I'm going to close in the same way I've closed for my last 9 speeches. The 2021 budget reflects the accountability, efficiencies, and transparency the Chicago Park District promises all citizens. Despite the circumstances we face, this budget delivers on meeting the needs of millions of park visitors across all 77 Chicago neighborhoods. It allows us to manage and maintain more than 9,000 acres of parkland, 600 plus parks, and 26 miles of lakefront, all for 2.7 million residents of Chicago, from the south side to the north, from the west side to the lake. I affirm that this budget positions us for financial stability in a responsible manner, and therefore I deliver to you this budget proposal, and I thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you.